Crazy, crazy for fear. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, y'all. How y'all doing on this beautiful, wonderful day today? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mental House with me, your host, Khadijah. Listen, y'all, I really need to know. I'm sorry, how y'all feel about this? Because I told y'all I've been examining this for a while. In fact, I'm doing a lot of extensive research on it, and I'm hoping that those of y'all who really love this country, love um, some of the people in it that are not corrupt, then I hope that you're gonna do what you can do to salvage this country. Otherwise, y'all already know. You already know. You've let the 1%, the narcissist. I mean, I'm sorry, the 1% of these narcissistic sociopaths win. It's just that simple. Because y'all know I contend that the founding fathers were sociopaths. There is no way in the world you can implement that much pain and be in that much denial as you're implementing violence and all these things towards an individual and convince yourself that this person or these people are not human. That, but yet you will go down and have sex with them. You have sex with them and make babies with them. So obviously, you know there's some human stuff going on. But because you're a sociopath, you would even take that baby and sell it as a capitalist and disregard and make your mind blot out, compartmentalize the deception of what you're doing to humanity. So I contend and I keep on saying it, and that's what my book is going to cover. The 1% that started this country, and they were sociopaths, and this same sociopathic nature is dominating a country once again because we had it under control for a little bit. We didn't really have it. We never can delve into it on a unhypocritical manner, and that's why it's just been festering. And so, while I don't blame Mr. Trump for this um, explosion, I think I should say turn the light on. Him and the roaches. You turn the light on, and they've all start running around, and you can see them. But this mindset was permeating. It was just waiting for a stimulus to make it come alive. Okay. So my contention is still, I want y'all to really, those of us who are recovering from narcissistic abuse and see it in our own families, those of us who are black and brown bodies, we can see it as a narcissistic society. And our white brothers and sisters who are honest with themselves see it that way as well. They can see past the color. They can see, now it may be hard to swallow some of them pills that um, that because anytime you have awakening and you have to challenge your behavior and your beliefs, um I contend that how can you not be racist in a society that taught you how to be? So basically, if you went to school and you finished this school system and you weren't a white, pretty much privileged individual, I won't call you a supremacist, but a racist person, yes, I would, because you had no reason to learn about me and mine. So most white people weren't in that position. So how can they not be, kind of, dumb when it comes to that area? So I don't blame them for that. A lot of y'all get mad at me for that, but I don't, because I realize that they weren't put in a position where they had to know, and they're just ignorant to it. Now that doesn't mean I excuse their ignorance. Does not mean that, and that because ignorant people are dangerous, very dangerous, very dangerous. As a old girl said, on The View. Very dangerous and very dangerous. When she was talking about Ilhan Omar, remember? But I want y'all to really, really examine the 1% that has spread now. And all that's growing up out of this soil are people that are narcissistic, people that have a touch of sociopathic, um, you know, psychotic behaviors. And we have to guard ourselves against that every day, because that's what grows out of this soil. Because the 1% that created it, the colonizers, were mentally ill. Okay? And in serious, serious denial. And they taught their children and their children's children to be in denial as well. And the ones that broke loose from that train of thought are the ones that you can have a conversation with today. Otherwise, all of them have that psychovirus, where they think they're better than you and they think that you're less than, because that's what has been fed to them. So to find this again from my favorite book, Dirty Little Secrets, about Black history and its heroes and other troublemakers, by Dr. Claude Anderson, ED. My favorite book to go to bring y'all this information. The Founding Fathers wrote the principles of white rule into the U.S. Constitution. We the people of the United States meant we the free white people, and the free white people only. The Constitution guaranteed rights and freedoms of everyone but blacks. The black man could not assimilate. He could even hide his colors. This is the first time you ever had enslavement or indentured servitude or slavery identified by color. It was very easy when you could have, when the color wasn't the wasn't the what you call it? It wasn't the trump card. Wow, ironically. But once it became the identifying factor, it was all over for us, because you couldn't escape the skin that you were in. He was permanently nailed to the lowest rung of the social ladder. Neither freedom nor good work could force the whites to recognize him as an equal human being. Now, remember though, but they're having sex with these people. During the Revolutionary War, at least 17 delegates to the Constitutional Convention, or 31% of all the nation's founding fathers, were slaveholders. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, yet they're slaveholders. Now, I want y'all to just deal with this for a minute, because this is the history that white folk just have a hard time dealing with. I know. But you got to go back and cut that cancer out if you want to get it out of there. You can't put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Please believe me. Collectively, they own more than 1,400 slaves. George Mason, James Rutledge, and George Washington were the three of the largest slaveholders in the country at the time of the Constitutional Convention. And I bet you today you cannot find a white person named Washington. George Washington had so many damn slaves that every Washington I run into today is black. In descending order, the slaveholders and the number of slaves that they each owned were as follows. George Mason had 300 plus. J. Rutledge had 243. George Washington of Virginia had 216. P. Butler of South Carolina had 143. C. Pinckney of South Carolina had 111. R. Spate of North Carolina had 71. C. Pinckney of South Carolina had 70. D. Carroll of Maryland had 53. G. Red of Delaware had 9. A. Martin of North Carolina had 47. W. Dale of North Carolina had 36. W. Blunt of North Carolina had 30. D. Jennifer of Maryland had 20. E. Randolph of Virginia had 16. J. Blair of Virginia had 15. J. Madison of Virginia had 10. And L. Martin of Maryland had 10. There was only limited discussion of slavery issues among the attendees of the convention. They were vested in the institution of slavery, and there is little doubt that they fully intended to exclude black people from the rights that they would guarantee for themselves and other whites in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. All of the framers of the Constitution were wealthy members of the upper class of American society. That 1%, you guys. But they wanted to please poor whites and assure them that they would always be above the blacks, regardless of their income and regardless of their wealth. And by assuring them that they would never have to compete with blacks, the white wealthy brought themselves an insurance policy forever against the formation of a poor white and a black coalition. They kind of like solidified it for themselves that they could keep. That's why I said slavery has hurt y'all as well as it hurt us. Because you would think that a poor white man in Appalachia, America, would see himself more in line with a poor black person. Y'all should see this commonality that you share. But you so crazy and I'm quiet, and your ego is in it and you want to be better, that you cannot see that somebody's made a pure jackass out of you. A pure fool out of you. Because you don't have nothing in common with these people that's got 34 and 310 and 243 and 30. You don't got a goddamn thing in common with those slaveholders. In fact, if you came to their house, they'll look at you and turn their nose up and tell you to go to the back door themselves. You'd be treated just like a slave. They wouldn't want you nowhere near them. You're not one of their good old boy. But they convinced you because you are white. And everybody wants to dump on somebody. It's kind of like human nature that you have to go and, check yourself and constantly keep your spirit under inventory so you won't develop these kind of negative characteristics. But I tell you what, the 1% that started this country were psychopaths. You can get mad about it if you want to, but you can look at them right back today. And now that they feel the same desperation that they felt when they were under attack by the Native Americans that were trying to get them in the slave revolts, and you get to see that 1% in action that was doing lynching and killing and all these things to black and brown bodies, you can see that same element or that same 1% that's prevalent right now under the leadership of who they got up in there to make them say, hey, we can go back to this and it's okay. And those who don't want to see it, they're hypnotized by hatred, as Boosie said. And those of them that don't want to see it, they're the flying monkeys of this whole phenomenon. So with that being said, I just thought that it's really interesting in what the founding fathers founded. What? What did they found? They're a bunch of liars and hypocrites? Alright, y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Like what you hear. I want to know what y'all think about that. Tell me what you think about that founding fathers. Do you think they were mentally ill? Do you think that they really, really were that disconnected from reality that they could have sex with these women and know that if this black man had sex with a woman and the baby came out brown, that was a human baby? How could a people, and this is for probably some of my white, how could a people, a person, a group, how could you convince yourself, whether you're black or white, how could you convince yourself of that type of deception? And you watching the baby being born, and you know you having sex with these people, but yet they're not human. And you can make yourself compartmentalize your hatred like that. I don't know. Let me know. Tell me what y'all think. Is it me? Okay, because y'all know I can go there. All right. See you in the next video.